From the local station, the morning show starts now.
New audio clips dive deeper into the search for Tristan Bailey. The files give more context to the moment Aiden Fucci first spoke to the police. An explanation of how he tried to send police in the wrong direction as a jogger discovered the body. One food truck owner is back behind the grill nearly 2 years after a devastating fire.
My face, my neck, my arms were burnt the worst, and both of my knees and the back of both of my ankles were burnt.
The reason she never gave up and the advice she is giving in light of her incident. We're also following breaking news overnight. A motorcycle rider is in critical condition after getting hit by a semi-truck. Florida Highway Patrol said it happened on I-10 in Baker County around 10:30 last night. Deputies say the rider didn't have its lights on, which hindered the semi from seeing it. The 70-year-old rider was transported to the Orange Park Medical Center with critical injuries. FHP says the truck driver is okay. New audio released by State Attorney's Office reveals how Tristan's body was actually found. Aiden Fucci is waiting to be sentenced for the murder of his soulmate in 2021. He pleaded guilty last month. Fucci was questioned by deputies after Bailey went missing. He was later seen posting on Snapchat from the back of a cop car. Newly released audio shows Fucci telling the investigators that two of them were at another friend's house. He went on to say they walked home together when something happened that seemed to upset him. Fucci says he pushed her real hard and then walked away. Later in the interview, he suggests an area that deputies might want to check.
There's like a trail that goes super deep down there.
Down into the woods?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We were at Trey's house, and then I stayed there until probably like 1:50 a.m. And then I was really late to be home, so I just had to leave, or else my mom would like seriously just kill me.
Okay.
However, that wasn't the path where Bailey's body was actually found. Her body was discovered hours after she was reported missing. A jogger that lived in a nearby neighborhood told deputies that his wife thought he should look into the woods at the end of the cul-de-sac. He says there was a lot of buzz in the neighborhood, and he walked over there after his run.
So I finished my run, and I went back in there and walked around, and I was about to go back out of the pond and through the woods back to another retention pond behind our house. Just to walk through the woods back toward our house, kind of just a last sweep. And when I came out of the fence at the southern end of the pond, probably 3 or 4 feet in, and I saw a dead girl there. And she's probably 25 or 30 feet beyond the fence. I only went a couple feet past the fence. Well, as soon as I saw her, I stopped and called 911.
Investigators say she was found exactly 0.3 miles from Fucci's Durban Crossing home. Fucci's sentencing hearing is scheduled to start on March 21st. He is now facing a minimum of 40 years to life in prison. This week, a woman was charged with vehicular manslaughter will be back in court for a mental competency review. A judge ruled that Pamela Cabrera isn't competent to stand trial in the death of her 5-year-old daughter. Body cam video released last month shows officers' response that night. GSO says that after kidnapping her daughter, Cabrera led police on a 30-mile chase before crashing the car into a retention pond. Officers were able to rescue Cabrera, but not the child. They add that Cabrera was seen clinging to the tire to stay afloat and yelling, "Help me, save me." Court's record shows that she has a history with the law and suffers from mental health issues. Next Saturday, a food truck will make its return to the farmers market. It comes nearly 2 years after a fire torched the truck and sent the owner to the hospital. Anna Coleman says her vegan food truck is her passion. However, in 2021, while at the Jacksonville's farmers market, the truck caught on fire while she was cooking inside, and this changed everything.
Everything was just going so fast. I was just trying to find a fire extinguisher because I know there were other cars in the parking lot, and I didn't want these 2 gas tanks to just explode.
She says the fire left her with 2nd and 3rd degree burns. Coleman spent 2 months in the burn unit in Gainesville.
After that, I went through not only physical but mentally. I went through a lot of things as well that I had to deal with. I never dealt with before.
Coleman wants people to learn from her mistake. She says when you cook with gas in an enclosed place, please ensure that there is ventilation. Coleman suggests also investing in a gas sensor. Food prices are hurting Florida families. More than a third of parents say it's harder to buy food now than it was last year. Many of them don't know if or where they will get another meal. The ways Putnam County schools are helping relieve the stress a bite at a time. The FDA and the CDC is warning Florida's Surgeon General about his comments regarding COVID vaccines. A letter sent to Dr. Joseph Lapido says his comments could harm the public. Lapido reached out to the agencies last month expressing concerns about what he describes as an adverse effect from the mRNA vaccine. In the past, he has recommended against men between 18 and 39 to get the vaccine. Lapido claims data shows an 84% increase in cardiac-related deaths. Lastly, the federal agencies debunked the conclusion, saying risk of strokes and heart attacks was lower in people who were actually vaccinated. Former Vice President Mike Pence claims history will hold former President Donald Trump accountable. He stated the attack on the Capitol was the one thing he hasn't joked about. Pence called January 6, 2020 a tragic day. He added Trump was wrong for claiming Pence had the power to overturn the election's results. Pence says that people have a right to know what happened during the insurrection. Lastly, the former vice president pledged to never downplay the violence suffered at the hands of rioters. This week, FAA will meet with aviation experts. This will discuss safety concerns related to the recent number of planes colliding in the air. Last week, 2 small planes crashed into each other in Florida. A college student and an aviation instructor were amongst the 4 people who died. Federal officials are investigating that crash as well as a close call between planes in Boston. The recent incidents have led experts to believe the proposed easing of experience requirements won't happen. Carriers are considering a change that would cut out the degree requirement and drop the number of flight hours needed. Airlines say it would help with the current pilot shortage. Lastly, now the administration is calling for a safety review team to examine the aviation system. The stock market ended this week in a tailspin. It came after a California bank shut down. It's the largest lender to fail since the 2008 recession. This reason may not be a precursor to what happened 15 years ago.